Plaintiff Donald Swinney rented a house from the defendant, and a few months later, the defendant moved in with him. 3 days later, Donald says the defendant moved his girlfriend and all of their children into the property, and none of them respected Donald or his belongings. He's suing for damaged and stolen property. Defendant Wayne Wilson and his girlfriend, Rachel Hurd, say Donald was nothing but a drunk from day one, and he constantly argued with the neighbors. Wayne claims Donald started drinking from the minute he woke up, and he's countersuing for rent and damages.
Start with you.
Well, on April 1st, I moved into his rental property, and it was the worst property I've ever seen in my life. Damage is done to it, this, that, and the other. And
Why'd you move in?
Just save me money. It was the rent. The rent was low.
Is that all you could afford, or to save money?
That's all I could afford.
Okay.
So once I moved in, about 3 or 4 months later, he came up with the idea of him moving in with me and dropping the rent. So I agreed to that, and about 3 days after that, he moved his girlfriend in, his 3 kids, her kid, and there's 2 other kids.
This is funny.
That goes with this.
How many days after?
About 3 days after he wanted to.
Now let me back up. The landlord with 6 other people moves in with you.
That's correct.
What do you say when the landlord comes to you?
Well, he lost his job, so he had to have some place to go. So I had thought about it for a couple days.
Never lost my job.
And then I agreed to it.
All right, what was that like, he and his family living with you?
Well, it was not good. I mean, nobody respected me, nobody respected my stuff. They used everything that I had in the house, like dishes and kitchen table, TV, couches, chairs, everything that I had in the house.
If someone's living there, they usually use the chairs.
Yeah, it was all my stuff, you know.
Use the chairs, though.
Yeah. But it was all my stuff, and they had nothing.
Did you establish any rules when they moved? Did you tell them, hey, you can't use the chairs,
no.
Don't use the kitchen, don't use the bathroom?
The only rules was that I paid the utilities, water bill, and mowed the yard.
Okay, but you're complaining now about them sitting in your chairs.
Well,
which I own. His furniture, he's talking about, I owned the furniture.
That you gave me when I first moved in, right?
He owned the furniture?
When I moved into that,
it was there when you moved in?
Yes.
Good enough. All right, you give me some background on the living conditions and on your experience living together.
Yes, Your Honor, it was a big mistake renting to this man. He was a drunk from day one. He was arguing with my neighbors, getting into fights with the neighbors. He's talking about the house being a deal. The house is being remodeled. That's why the rent is so low as he speaks.
Right.
And it was under construction. I mean, it's not completed.
Well,
that's why the rent was low.
what about you moving in with the man?
Well, the man, he
the
paid
landlord moving in with the tenant.
He paid the 2 months rent to get started with, and then he decided. Then some stuff happens in his life. We'll leave that out of it, and he falls behind 2 months on the rent.
And so you moved in. Why?
He falls behind on the rent. And I was changing jobs because I was trying to get closer to my kids.
Okay.
So I changed jobs and I was staying at my grandparents' house. He is behind on rent. It's like, I figure, you know what? I'll help the man out and
all right. What was the agreement?
Well, I told him, I was like, you're gonna have to catch up on the back 2 months rent, and then you're gonna have to pay the utilities and take care of the yard, which he never took care of the yard. I had conversation with him many a times about taking care of the yard.
I got pictures.
I got pictures of the weeds. I got pictures of the weeds that are.
See, what did you expect, sir? The man, you just said he was a drunk.
I didn't know that until
drunk,
after.
You better be happy
staying there a little while.
Try and cut the grass.
You can tell. In the pictures, you can tell the grass is dead, but the weeds, I mean,
it hadn't
you got it.
rained for
this looks like somebody who was drunk cut the grass. I mean, what'd you expect?
And that pile of stuff in the backyard, he's supposed to take care of that.
Tell me about living with him. He says it was terrible.
Well, I don't know how he can say it was terrible living with us when he's the one getting up at, I don't know what time he'd get up, but I'd come out of the bathroom one morning, and Rachel, she's up, and she comes in there and said, you know, Don's already drunk. And this is at like 9:30 in the morning, 10 o'clock. He's stumbling from the couch to the refrigerator, opens the freezer, and by the time I come in there, he's in there getting a bottle of liquor out of the freezer, pouring it in his coffee cup. 10 o'clock in the morning, already stumbling to the refrigerator.
But so what does that do to you? That's his problem.
We had kids there. We had 2 4-year-olds and a 2-year-old. He was drunk, passing out in the chair.
4-year-old and 2-year-olds, and he was drunk, passing out. They probably assumed he was asleep. Don't they see you sleep? Go ahead. Let me hear about the damaged property and stolen property.
Yes, Your Honor. I have a monetary breakdown of what was damaged and/or stolen.
Tell me how it occurred.
Stolen property.
See it, please, Dawn.
Was from when I moved out, and he was supposedly put stuff in the sheds, and nothing ever got put in the shed that was still inside the house. And what he did move out that was in the house, he just put in the front yard and around the house, and there was a shed in the backyard that didn't have part of a floor in it, had 2 windows that were busted out.
But did you agree that he would put it in the shed?
No, Your Honor. I did not agree for him to put it in the shed. The agreement was for me to come back on a Saturday and pick up my stuff and just move it to the house.
How many days afterwards?
At my convenience was a couple weeks after that.
And he agreed to that?
Yeah, he said Saturday. And then once the Saturday come, he wasn't available on Saturday.
No.
And then I had to come on a Sunday. I had to change my schedule around for that Sunday.
And what happened then?
It was set out the 18th when I called the officers to come over.
Why'd you call the police?
Because he was moving my stuff out over an argument over a channel being changed on the Chiefs game.
Did he give you a 30-day notice?
No, sir. He gave me a 15-day verbal demand that I had to get out, which was the 26th.
So you stayed 15 days after he notified you?
Yes.
And what is the law? The law should be 30 days.
It's 30 days. I think a written notice 30 days.
Right. So he illegally, in your opinion, evicted you, illegally putting your property out, and it was thereby damaged.
Yes, Your Honor.
And stolen. How did you determine they were stolen?
I called the officers. They came over that night and caught these 2 moving my stuff out to the front lawn. So I made a police report that night.
See it, please. Did the police speak with him?
Yeah.
What did they tell him?
And they advised Mr. Wilson that the stuff that he moved out was supposed to be moved back in, or he was liable for...
They told him to move your things back in?
Yeah, the stuff that he moved out that night.
Is that on here?
It says in the police report that the stuff was going to stay outside and that he was going to come back and get it.
The following
day.
The police said,
told us not to move any more of his stuff outside.
Why?
Because he was concerned. It was not even raining in the first place.
No. Why did the police tell you not to? Huh? Because it was wrong. When the police tell you not to do something, it's usually because what you'd be doing would be wrong.
Right.
And against the law. Police don't tell you not to do things unless it's against the law.
Well, he was supposed to be out later on that.
I understand, but the police told you something. The police told you something. They were telling you that you have broken the law.
Not to bring any more stuff out.
I'm talking. The police told you not to do it because it was against the law. All right, what do you want to tell me?
Well, the reason it was being done was because, as he stated, over a football game. Well, the week before that happened, my kids were over the weekend before, and he had pulled out this beer can thing. He thought it would be appropriate to show an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old a beer can thing that when you lift it up, a penis pops out. Well, who shows an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old this?
This is a week before you put him
this
out?
is the week before. He had been given...
Why did you wait a week?
Because she said we don't need to make a scene in front of the kids.
The man shows your children a play penis or something, and you let him stay then, but you put him out for what?
He was already...
Why did you put him out?
He was already supposed to...
No, you tell me. Why did you put him out?
I put him out because he threatened me because I changed the channel.
It's all right to show my kids porno.
No. No, it wasn't.
But just don't change that football. Oh no, now you gotta go. Now you gotta go.
He was already supposed to be out is the reason why He had told me before he was going to move out.
Why'd
He
you
was supposed
set
to
his
be
things
moved
out?
out
Why'd you
Saturday.
set his things out, sir?
Why did I set his stuff
Yes.
out? Because I felt at this point he had already threatened me and he had already taken and showed my kids things. He needed to go.
All right, but I got that. You put him out for that. I'm talking about his furniture.
Because I felt threatened and I
That's
wanted him and
him.
his
That's
things out.
him. You put him out, but you put his things out without giving him proper notice. That's an illegal eviction. So your judgment is granted, $4,033, and yours is dismissed because an illegal eviction entitles him to treble damages, which will be 3 times the amount. Instead of giving him 3 times the amount, I'm just going to dismiss your $866 claim. All right? I'm giving you a break. $4,033 is your judgment.
Thank you, sir. I do believe this man should really get some help with his drinking problem.
I'm just glad he's done lying. I'm done with him.
It was never a lie.
Good day.
He was inappropriate with kids, showing them penis toys, and was passing out drunk with the kids. And the kids, he even tried to lie saying that he was drinking coffee in the morning, and the kids even seen him get up putting Canadian Mist in his coffee cup.
Okay.
I'm just glad he's out of our lives.